So, welcome back, ladies and gents. We got the first semi-final out of the way in the Battlefield EMS 1 Cup number 2. We saw UMAF walking away with a bit of a surprise victory over Fnatic, but now we need to find out who'll be meeting UMAF in the grand finals. It's going to be between Team Dignitas and Epsilon. A lot of people tipping Epsilon to win this one. Where are your thoughts on this?
You know, it's difficult for me, at least. I mean, if you think about it,
I agree.
why are you still taller than me? Damn.
I'm not. I'm just sitting up.
But I'm looking even with you, and it's not cool with me. But you know,
Wow.
we saw when Dignitas can show up, and when they do show up, they show up with style. They really do. They play extremely well. But one thing that worried me was that Meteor Makers, they saw through their strategy on Dawnbreaker. Like, they knew exactly what they would do. That makes me wonder, are Dignitas' strategies very stagnant and stale? Have other teams figured them out? Are they going to be able to stop it? But Epsilon, they're looking damn strong. They've shown, actually, back, I think it was in the Go Fours, that they can beat Fnatic.
Yep.
They've shown that they can be a very good team. Honestly, I think this is anyone's game. I think it comes down to the map choices.
Pretty much. I really agree. Epsilon, looking at them yesterday, were phenomenally good. I mean, they were absolutely on tilt there. It was very hard to stop them. They looked pretty much unstoppable the way they were playing. So, see, I was explaining it for you because words
Like, they
are
can't
hard.
be stopped. Like, they're unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Words are difficult. So, the first map, it seems, will be Zavod. I think we're just waiting on the final player for Epsilon to join us, if I wasn't mistaken then by seeing that.
You didn't see it?
Wow,
you didn't catch
way
that?
to go.
All right, which one was it? Sorry.
Yes.
You got it right. I mean,
Nailed it. Yeah, Epsilon's waiting on their fifth to join up, and hopefully that will be nice and quickly. Anyway, the thing to keep in mind here is I want to know the people at home's prediction, because Team Dignitas, very strong team, very well known. You know, it's hard to deny someone of that caliber, but Epsilon, kind of this thrown together mixed team that just started to really perform. They've found their footing and they're getting really good. Like they've shown, I'd say, more potential than Dignitas, and I think a lot of people will agree that Epsilon may be on even paper the strongest side these days.
I thought that might be live. I mean, the thing is, with so little, you know, tournaments that have been ran so far, with so little results of teams going up against each other. I mean, even within the top 12 teams, not all of them have met each other. I mean, by now, I mean, I think even less than half have actually met each other. I think it comes down to just, you know, over time we'll figure out, you know, what teams should in the standings be better than other, you know, other ones. Like, if we were to come up with a list of top 12 teams right now in Battlefield 4, you can't really place all the teams in one spot or in correct positions, because
very true.
any day any team can beat another. I mean, we've seen teams start to change up their gun styles. Maybe a new team's like, all right, this gun is perfect for this situation that no one's using right now. We'll use it, and maybe they'll, you know, walk over other teams. It's very early on, and on paper, I think I'd agree that Epsilon you know, might be better, but Dignitas, they're such a strong team.
Yeah, they really are. It's hard to deny them. They're like the pedigree team almost. You know what I mean? They've come from Battlefield 3. They're extraordinarily good there, and now they're coming into Battlefield 4. Have they adapted well enough? That's to be discussed. That's probably the hardest point to kind of work out. Have they adapted well enough that quickly? A lot of other teams coming into this a little bit fresher, not as, you know, set in the ways of, let's say, Battlefield 3 was. You know, it was very competitive, but, you know, maybe there's a lot of teams who adapted quicker to the styles of Battlefield 4. And I think that's where we'll see the likes of Epsilon really start getting into their own. You know, the likes of Jera in the mix, brilliant player. Mayek, my God, that man yesterday was insane on this map as well.
Wait, Mayek. Wasn't that the man we saw when we were actually casting on Dawnbreaker for the first time?
It
that
might have been.
Went ridiculous scoreline.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was.
He was like 30-1 or something crazy.
I think this is the man we need to be watching here. And Epsilon are great at going on those individual flanks, really being a pain and a pest. Horek being that player. He'll always be the one, you know, they may have that BC hold, for example, and they might think, okay, we might lose out on that B site. He'll be immediately over to A already. He'll be the one being the Winghaven player almost. And we are seeing this go live, so let's not waste any more time. And look at the split coming out initially. Big presence splitting 2-2 out towards the B/mid coming from the Russian team. But look at Walu going on a little bit of rotate round towards back A.
Yeah, so we're actually seeing Epsilon play very similar to the way UMAV played it.
gotta say it, he's right with the AEK. Very interesting choice. One of the first players I've seen actually working this one out. Not a bad selection considering if he's playing very close range. I feel it loses a lot of its potency long range, so that's probably why he focused A rather than that B exchange. But we are seeing that going down very close. A in the hands of the Russians, C going in the hands of the US, B being fought out back and forth. I think Epsilon might just clinch this one if they can claim it at the end, but Duke's quite far back. He can only hold the cap for now. He's going to have to come around on the rotate. He's got some backup now. Good position to start executing this push. C being contested as well. This is going both ways here.
Yeah, and I wanted to say that Epsilon, they went for something really similar that we saw UMAV and Fnatic both do in the way they advanced onto the battlefield. But Dignitas, they went for something way different. They actually didn't send 3 out to B to, try to contest it. They sent 1A, like you mentioned before, with Walu, which unfortunately for him didn't work out too well. Was able to finally get it this time, though, but they're down 2-1 in caps. We have Mayak actually holding on to B himself, and we've seen when he gets into a site, he's almost impossible to move. The one that comes into mind is Dawnbreaker and B. He just literally could not be killed. But right now, Epsilon, they're winning currently. They have 9 kills to the 4 of Dignitas. But Dignitas don't count them out just yet. I mean, they're starting to push through, and we actually are seeing 8 capped over for Epsilon here. But Masu does stop that from happening.
Yeah, and it was a very strange play from Epsilon. They got really aggressive through mid then. They didn't just hold back on the BC hold. So they kind of challenged Dignitas out. And that could be a bit of a problem if they spread themselves too thin. But they had great respawns on C. They've locked it down, controlled the threat, and they should be comfortable here. But B is now going to be the next possible target for Dignitas. But one player going alone is not going to do the job here. Dignitas need to break this down as a team.
Yeah, very true. I mean, you can't go off by yourself. You need to wait for your team to respawn in, and looks like that's exactly what they were doing. As they have these 3 men here trying to go for attack onto C. Judetsu's going to lead the charge, it looks like, for his team with Walu backing him up, but it doesn't matter. Jared mows them both down here, and this is starting to get out of hand. I mean, yeah, we're only like a couple of minutes in, 144 to 110 tickets, but the kills, 16-8, it's really getting ridiculous right now, and Epsilon kind of showing their true style, and they're hitting A at the same time.
And that's Horik. I already mentioned at the start, he's that player to immediately get on these sites. He's been the pest. They lost out on C a touch, so he was immediately at least pulling some of the members back from Dignitas towards that A point. He's always the one kind of just drawing their attention away from the real target of focus, allowing Epsilon now to retake the C site, hold on to B. He was a pest over at A, just caught them, a little bit off guard, and that's put them back in his controlling position here.
And Dignitas, they just kind of keep respawning over in this area. We actually have Jerk spawning up towards this top side. He's typically the man to kind of do this stuff, this rogue kind of play where he goes off by himself. We have Horik actually pushing out towards A yet again, just like you're saying, being that annoyance kind of role here. But Dignitas, they're going for a control into C. Looks like they might be able to take this one. It looks like they will, in fact, do that. And how are Epsilon going to respond to this? Because Jerk finally coming around going towards B.
But there is the immediate flag to Horik to go, okay, get in on A. We know it's open. He's going to be there by himself. The rest of, I'd say, Epsilon might, focus their challenge out towards C, but both sides now being pressured. This could spell trouble. They need to be able to hold on 2 sides to 1. They've got a massive ticket lead here. And look at Walu being careful. He's not sure if there's 1 or more on the A side because they knew they were pushed back a touch because they lost out on C. But if you know it by now, it's just going to be Horik being that pest. And Walu needs this. They desperately want to keep this A site as their backup plan. And let's see if he can work it out. I think he'll be challenged by Horik pretty soon. He's going to be taking his time, working out. Very interesting choice of guns. We saw the AEK coming out on top there against the Scar H. No surprise. But still, I think maybe a little bit of a rush play from Horik. Not playing that out perfectly. And that's put Epsilon in a little bit of a back foot situation this time.
You see David actually try to come in from this side as well towards A, but he does get picked up by the backside. But a 2-on-2 push here coming in from both teams. We actually do see from C, from Jera, sitting in from that C side, able to pick up a kill onto Jaquili. But Jetsky, he's trying to hold on to this. He does see it's being capped over. He's just playing it very calm, very patiently, but it doesn't matter. He gets taken down, and that will be a 2-cap back in favor of Epsilon here momentarily, unless Jerk can take this 1v2.
And he's trying everything he can, running with that Scar H, takes down 1, not going to get the hip fire onto Jera there. Jera's going to get the revive. C is back under control. And look at Horik, back on A. No surprise, really, but he's making it count. He's being a constant pest, giving them the trip cap. That's 3 flags held. Those tickets are going to start flooding out of the hands of Team Dignitas.
I wonder if David and Horik can hold on to this too, because the tickets, they have pretty much double exactly what Dignitas has here. As you do see 1 kill come in, that does get 1 man on the respawn here, but A has been neutralized. It has been, or will be capped over in favor of Dignitas momentarily here, but they're only leaving 1 or 2 men there, and Horik can honestly probably pull this off if he plays his cards right. As you do see a 2-man attack over onto C. Jerk is spotted as he is getting the flag capped over. Does get 1 kill, but will he stay alive? No, he gets taken down. There's still just 1 more man. Actually, Basu got taken down on the outside as well. So just like that, we're seeing a lot of sides contest at the same time, but B and C are in favor of Epsilon. A is the one that's being neutralized and looking to be capped over right now for Horik, who finally was taken down. So it looks like Dignitas will be getting control of that, but look at this. Look at that ticket difference.
That is
I don't
dire.
actually remember seeing any kind of difference like this in any of the games we've casted so far.
Yeah, it's unbelievably one-sided, and that was a very big kill coming in there for Jiquili, I think it was on the A side. They needed to reclaim that. It was like their only bastion of slight hope. Finally, the kill comes in for Jadeski there, but it was a real sloppy exchange in mid. But they had to bring back A for any chance, but they've not been able to convert it. They can't get through to C. They have occasional players breaking in and out, but it's always with a retake. And they haven't even tried to come back on B. They've been kind of leaving that one. You know, their focus may be a little bit overly possessive towards the C side. Maybe they've got to try and switch something up. And I'll be very curious how they're going to focus it out on the next side, because, you know, they've finally broken through to C, but they've got 24 tickets remaining, and already we're seeing Horik back on A.
Yeah, he's going for it yet again here. And I think the real story is, if you look at this, 47 kills to 29. One thing I've been noticing is that Epsilon, when they had B and C, Dignitas were always spawning up here. And the distance they have to run to actually get back towards the site is just so long that it's so hard for them to make anything happen. And then Epsilon would just be in the perfect prime position to pick up the kills left and right. 112 to 19 tickets right now. A is going to be going back over in favor of Dignitas, but Epsilon, they're going for a 3-man push on a C here. They're looking to open up this one back. Jerk does get taken down here. The cap is being turned over for Epsilon. There was one man in the back trying to make something happen here for Dignitas. It is Judetsky. No, it wasn't Judetsky. Who is it? I can't click him. It's Jaquili. As well as Jesse respawn on top of them. They're looking at contest this here, and right now they're actually still holding on.
Just about 10 tickets, though. It's not good. They still only have one site that's being contested. That's probably Horik. Let's not, you know, push ourselves to any extent. It's this man here who's always been the pest, and that is a huge ticket advantage. Up in the hundreds still. That is a worrying sight for any Dignitas fan, and I want to see those kills. I've got to see Mayex, Horex. These guys were doing beautifully. Let's press tab right now for me. Just bring that up. There we go. It's, you know, Duke doing well, David doing well. This is just the usual sights. Horik didn't get a big kill to death ratio, but it was perfect. But Mayek, 12 to 2, he barely died in that game.
That's definitely got to be the same guy that we saw that one time on Dawnbreaker.
No kidding.
Doing so damn well. And I mean, if you're Dignitas, how do you go about that? I mean, thing is, the first time we saw Dignitas actually in Cup #1, I remember they looked absolutely terrible in the first map. They truly did, at least in the first half. Then they woke up. Then they're like, oh, we should probably start playing. We're warmed up now, and they were able to turn up into the second half and actually take that game. But right now, that's 109 tickets. That's a tall order. I don't know of many teams that can really come back against that, against the caliber of a team that Epsilon truly is. And strategically, how do you? I mean, Dogbert probably watched this and he's like, I don't know what just happened. I mean, I don't even know.
In my eyes, if I'm already expecting, and okay, I'm a caster, not a player. Let's put it in that perspective. Yes, a long time ago I played competitively, but that was a long, long time ago. If I'm already knowing what's going to be happening here, so should the teams. You know, if I'm already going, okay, that's going to be Horik on A every single time. As soon as they might have a bit of a contest on the B side or C, they'll always send Horik out sprinting down towards A because he knows there's only going to be 1 or 2 players there at maximum. So if I'm expecting that, they should already be compensating, or at least being aware that that's the game plan. Don't overcompensate your resources back towards A to reclaim it. It's only one player. Focus on the cap you're going. If you can get C, you can convert B. But it's always been a little bit disjointed for Dignitas at the moment.
The question to me is, does the man that's holding on to A against him feel confident to take him in a 1v1? Because if he's not, then there goes A. Then what do you hit after that? You get tri-capped just like we saw.
Let's take that into example then. So we know that Horik likes running with the Scar H, for example. That AEK play, the Ace, all very viable guns. Get him close range. Make sure you know he's on the point. Challenge him out. You've got the advantage of the gun weaponry, but still, Dignitas will be on the Russian side in that kind of blue color, and on the red side, it will be Epsilon. And we are seeing that normal start here, the proper split across the map. David going on a little bit of a walkabout towards A, but the vast amount will be exchanging on B. That's what I want to be watching to see who's going to get this one, because the A exchange should go in favor to the Russian side, but, well, we'll find out how that one goes, because A is being held by the Russians, C by the US, B is the side that everyone wants now. It's the kind of big prize here. This Jerk being spread out, really showing his position there, allowing Horik on the side. Nice little follow-up there, allowing his teammate to get the kill, and that's just the overpowering effect of Epsilon. So damn talented.
And Horik, I mean, he's showing he's more than just a one-trick pony. He's more than just a guy that can flank your team and take flags behind you. He was able to cap that one over for his team, pick up 2 kills for himself. In the meantime, you see David pick up A by himself. I think he won a 1v1 against one man on Dignitas, but right now, Dignitas are just swarming all over B. We see May coming from the backside. He was the big kill guy in the first half. I wonder if he can pull this off again. Obviously, he's going to be waiting a little bit longer, but he can make these kills start to, or he can really rack up these kills.
He's waiting on those respawns, I can imagine. One of his players got taken down. There it comes in. They can now challenge on the B side. I want to stick with Mayek for a while. You know, he played so well. I'd like to see how he did it personally. And he's always on the flank. He's never challenging straight up. He's clearing the site meticulously. He wants to make sure this can be converted comfortably. You know, he's not going to be surprised by someone just sitting in between the tanks. He can get the push down. He's expecting a player down the end because obviously the Russian side did have that A site, and he's correct to be feeling so. Proning down Packer. He only wants the cap point. He's allowed Duke to be the aggressive player, to be the one who, you know, may be ringing alarm bells, and they're going to cap it out pretty much. I don't think that's going to be contested until a breakout player pushes forward, picks him up. This means Duke has got to go big. He's talented. He takes down Drakili, but can he find any more? Constant fire comes in, going to be shut down by Judeski, and that should, at least for now, go over to Dignitas. But immediately Jera's there. This is not an easy convert for Dignitas at all.
And right now, I mean, Judeski, he has to heal up. He can't really go into a dogfight between him and Jera. So Nate just swarm in and take him down. Dignitas sending 3 more men to back this up. Maybe that actually might be an overcommitment if Hort can rotate over towards A. But we have a tri-cap in favor of Dignitas building up right now. And this might be exactly what they need to get back in. This B has been capped over, though, for Epsilon. They will take that one back. David actually playing the floater role, going for A here, so they will have that 2-1 back for themselves. But if Wally can pick up this kill, that might open up a 2-for-1 back for Dignitas.
I'm curious to see if he's going to play for the respawns or going alone. I think he's going to go for the aggressive play a little bit, but you can see he's being cautious because we saw Koa, for example, play in that position specifically. I think he's got a little bit of an idea. There's going to be a player there watching the entrance. Not sure if he got the connection. Yes, he did. He's going to push in. He knows he's low. He won't be immediately challenged. He can now set up a better defense for this. Recap that point. He knows David's going to be here. Gets the tag, gets the kill, gets the flag, and the respawn. Really well played out from Walu there. Perfect play from Dignitas if they can lock down that B site as well.
We'll see if that's going to happen here. We have Jakuli here watching. We have the respawn coming in on top of Mayak here. They're actually going to send 3 men there. 1 man to the backside with Horik going towards A. There's no one actually there to defend against it, so they will have potentially a tri-cap here if they make it happen quick enough. If Jared can hold on to this 1v3, which he unfortunately can't, they won't get the tri-cap. But still, Horik's always in the right place. He's like, all right, well, B's been attacked. Hit over A really quickly. Get there when no one's really able to stop them as Dignitas was starting to move over towards C.
Okay, now let's take stock of the situation because it may look close right now, but let's bear in mind, if Dignitas drop below 109 tickets in the top left side, they are out of the first map. It's going to go into the second. So they need to start really thinking about what's going on here. They cannot have an extended 2-1 hold against them. Beautiful play from Mayek, though. It's just rubbing salt into the wound. He's not even in a pivotal position. Oh, what a read again. The tickets are going to get so low off the back of just one man's play, gifting them C, allowing them mid. Here comes the B convert as well, ready for the counterplay from Dignitas. The tickets, there's nothing you can do against play like that. Mayek, I'm pretty sure you just pretty much gifted that first map at the end there for your team. Wow.
I think so. I mean, he showed. He was what? He was 12-2, I think, in the first half.
Yeah.
Not sure what he finished off on this one, but he just proved right there that he's a force to be reckoned with. He's really hard to take down. I mean, he didn't look so strong when he's attacking B. I think he's more of a close quarters kind of fighter than more of a long range, which B can technically be. But that was very convincing. That really was. And if we
Can we just press tab? I really want to see what he's
I
on.
can't actually because
you're
I'm
out
not
of the
in
game.
game.
That's a very good point.
But
So
I will do it real quick for you.
Yeah, I
Just
do
for you.
really want to see what he's sitting on at the moment because he played quite reserved, but it was only the start of the game, so I'm quite curious to see how he's doing. 8-2. He's not doing too badly, funny enough. Brilliant play, though. Credit to that man, where it's due. Very, very talented. And taking down 3 members of Dignitas, the amount of tickets he got from that, the control through mid, opening up C. Perfect play. You can't deny that in a player, and it's very hard to counter.
And if you have someone that can do that, that allows the rest of his team to make sure to cap B and C during that little bit of time, that little bit of a distraction he causes. And I can't even say distraction because he kills them. Distraction would be he dies in the end, but so well done. That means we're going to map number 2, though.
Yes.
And that will be, I believe, Dignitas' choice. Let me just double check that if it is. Yep, that will be Dignitas' choice on Lankang Dam.
Damn,
So
we don't see a lot of Dam
No,
either.
we don't.
So that could be a little bit of a left field pick there coming in for them, trying to maybe catch out a couple of teams. We saw one of the teams yesterday going for a choice onto Railway, for example. Very aggressive. I believe it was actually Epsilon, of all people. If I'm not mistaken, it might be. And it worked. It paid off for them. I'm pretty sure it was. I will double check that. But you know, this is an interesting choice because I know the likes of Fnatic can struggle here. I know UMAV beat them on this map previously, This is a very interesting choice. I'm very curious here.
Yeah, this is one of the map. I think 2 maps in my head. This and Siege of Shanghai that we hardly ever see.
I don't like Shanghai as a map in Domination.
Well, yeah,
5v5,
because of the spawn advantage. Because we
Yes.
automatically spawn and you have B right away. Like literally
It's
just
just
from
like,
the countdown you
have
have
that.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, now that I don't know your thoughts in Twitch chat, guys. Let me know how you feel about these maps that don't generally get featured as much. So Dam, for example, Siege of Shanghai, not normally in the constant rotation. It's the Zavods that we see. It's things like that.
Dawnbreakers.
Locker.
Yeah.
Those kind of 3 constantly in rotation. How do you feel about the others? Like in, I feel bigger games of domination, they're quite fun, they're really good, until you get pinned down from snipers being asshats on the roof of
Why are you
Siege of
looking at me?
Shanghai. Just because I know what you do, you recon scumbag. I know what you do.
It's not my fault that you can't handle it.
I'm better than you, it's fine. So we are just waiting for the game to load up, do not fear.
If you're gonna make wild accusations like that,
Correct
I think we need to pull up our
statements, I
battle
think,
logs
is the
and
phrase.
check, compare things.
That's because you're a sniper, you just sit on the roof, you know, I actually do, you know, real work.
Go look where all my kills are.
With recon.
No. I play assault. Anyway, that's has nothing to do with this game because this is what's going down. We can both agree on, no matter what, these teams are better than us in every way
That's
possible.
very true. I don't think anyone of us currently can say, yeah, we're better than Mayak, you know.
I know one person that might say it.
And they will be wrong. But the one thing I do want to point out is a lot of people do say, oh, these guys aren't great, you know, I'm better than them. Go ahead and prove it. Go get involved in the Go 4s in Battlefield. Check it out on the ESL site. You can take part every single week, and there's money to be won. So I think we are going to be live into this on the Russian side. If we can press tab, I believe it will be Team Dignitas. And on the Chinese side, it's going to be Epsilon. And from the start, it's obviously going to be that 2-1 hold, unless Epsilon can already beat them to the B site here.
And Jerry, he's looking to make something happen here. He's around the back. He has a perfect flank on him. I mean, just look, no one's even looking in that direction. But can he make the kills happen? He gets one with that Scar, looking for second to the man on his right, looking for Judd, gets him as well. And just like that, they're going to take control of A, they're going to take control of B, and C, which Dignitas spawns next to, is the only site they're going to be able to hold on to. And just as I say that, Horik, he's already there. Tri-cap.
No surprise, this man doesn't just do it on Zavod. He can do it on any map. This is unbelievable. So just spamming out that stairwell, not allowing even a foot, and a triple cap for this amount of time with the spawns they're going to get is going to be so hard work. I remember seeing Fnatic being one of the first teams to use that balcony really well to the left of Horik. But he doesn't even need to. He's just watching the push-ups, the safer option. It's almost like looking back to, you know, the Storm. So looking back at that, they just play the buildings, play it smart, and that's what you got to do. A little bit of an awkward time on the grenade there for Jera, but this trip cap is looking disastrous for Dignitas.
One man holding A, man holding B, and with the 3 inside the building on the top floor, on that second floor, no one at Dignitas can even penetrate this site yet. This is honestly getting out of hand. I mean, we started with Dignitas having 142 tickets. They've dropped down in this amount of time with this tri-cap down to 115, and it's showing no signs of stopping. But we do see Horik actually defending on the C here quite well. Dignitas looks like they finally have broken through, coming up through the top side here, and they finally might get C back, but not before losing out on 30 tickets.
Interesting choice as well. Jadesi going for the AEK, not going for the usual kind of middle ground. I could imagine a Scar could be really good here in my eyes. It's quite a long-range map, unless they're just playing inside those buildings, inside those corridors. Maybe that's what he's focusing on, but he is using the outside areas. So maybe going for the convert here on towards A. They've got a good couple of players on B. This is a very interesting spread coming out. 2-1 hold, however, still in favor to Epsilon, who are currently in the lead.
They're just like not moving. They just realize, all right, you hold this spot, I hold this spot. We're gonna hold on to this very fine. But Dignitas actually making a push here. Looks like they might be able to make their way in here. But Mayak, the man who had 4 deaths total, I believe, across the first map on Zavod, looking to hold on to this himself as he's spamming out those grenades, but not hitting anyone just yet. B is being capped over right now, but he does get the spot, gets the revive as well, looking for the kills, gets one with the hip spray.
Wow.
I'm not sure if he actually killed 2 on that one, but he let his presence known.
My word, this man is not the man you want to be coming up against, really. He's so damn good at this. He's been overwhelmed. Wow, okay. Picks up Jerk as well, just because he can. And it's a trip cap coming out in favor to Dignitas this time, turning it over. This map is very hard to, you know, avoid being trip capped on at times because the spawns, you've got a floor to run up. These guys can knock it down with a very small, minimal amount of players. They've worked back C already. I want to see where they convert to. Where do they want to head? C is quite a comfortable hold, and they might go for B. They might go for just the, you know, easy one that's next. Even though you're always at a vertical disadvantage, you know, if you're trying to come into the site, they've always got one player down by the office, a couple on the stairwells. But Horik, lovely little position there, just finding the opposite stairwell. But can they get the final push through? I think Epsilon are kind of just cutting their losses and going elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, David, he's leading the charge onto A, where there's only one man holding on to that. He does get some respawns on top of him. Walu, can he stop this push from happening? He has to if he wants to give Dignitas a chance to close this gap. It says 90, 112. Actually, he turns away at the last. Oh, and he was actually on the ground. Never mind. Let's say he's coming up the stairwell right then, but he gets killed from the top side. He does get taken down, and Epsilon playing that one very slow, but very smart. Looks like they will be able to lock this one down. Judd, he has something to say about it, but he gets taken down instantly right there. And that will be a 2-cap going back over to, well, that might be a tri-cap actually going over to Epsilon right now.
And I was just about to say towards Dignitas, they've got the score fairly even. They brought it back after that trip cap, the slower converts coming in for Epsilon. They've done really well on that front, but now it's not looking so good. Pretty much Walu is the last bastion of hope for Dignitas to claim B. He's already been challenged by David, who's going to just move in, get those respawns on him if he needs it. He's taken down 2 members, chipping away slowly but surely. They're going to have to focus out on B because they are going to lose the C site. No one there immediately to challenge. So I can imagine B will be countered, but they don't have to. They've already gone on the retake there. Masu getting the kills in on B. They're going to hold that one down. The retake was focused onto C, and there should be a 2-1 hold in favor to Epsilon unless Dignitas can get to that C site.
Remember, this is Dignitas' map too. They're the one that chose this one, so they have to be quite confident in it. But right now, I mean, they are down about 30 tickets currently. Well, that will be definitely 30 in just a second here. Masu, great position. He gets Horik on the backside, so he can't actually get that sneaky cap over towards B. But with A and with C being in favor of Epsilon here momentarily, they still will maintain that 2-1 cap lead. They still will get that ticket lead a little bit more in their favor. And Judd, he actually gets up the stairs, doesn't get seen going up there. Will get C back in his favor. So Dignitas will maintain that 2-1 hold here. Just to say that, they lose B. That's what's so crazy about this map as well. It's kind of like Zavod, where all the flags are very close to each other. You can get from A to B in a matter of about 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's very hard to kind of predict which side's going which way, because one player can make all the odds being very tucked into positions like this, using the stairwell really nicely there, just making sure Horik's at a bit of a disadvantage, going to push up, maybe thinking about getting in a better position to defend, just using everything around him. Nice nade coming in there, Walu. Not ideal, but
I like what he's going for, though.
Yeah, it was ambitious.
Through the MR
It
machine
was really ambitious. Bless him. But still, trip cap for a second then. They held a good 3 flags, but they're losing out on A. So there's a disadvantage. Jerk could change it around, however. He could go back on A. He could be the safety player. It's up to them. If they maybe see they're losing out on the B site, they'll respawn onto him and push in towards the flag just below.
And right now, because everyone plays within the buildings, you're not going to be able to see them on top unless you get on top of the C building here through the backs of it up the ladder. And they're just picking up the kills left and right. We see Epsilon trying to make a push into it, but because of the vertical difference between the players, like you're saying before, that made no sense. They just can't get these kills. Yeah, they're getting the grenades in, but they can't get the cap over just yet as a nice grenade comes in. So the kill on a Jakuli for Duke. But still, they're down. They haven't capped anything over just yet.
Yeah, not just yet.
And there it is.
There we go. Finally coming across towards Epsilon. That's the 2-1 hold. But immediately, I really like the way Dignitas hold the B side, to be fair. I like their one player in the office, and they play up on the stairwells. They keep it in control. I quite like that. But they seem to be trying to adapt a little bit, to the way Epsilon are attacking, which is ideal, because right now we are seeing it in control. Jerk in a good position to come in from the rotate. They're going to try and execute at the same time, but he got picked up by Jera, who's keeping an eye on that. But the vast majority of Dignitas are pushing in. Nice play, but not good enough to take down Duke, just coming off those stairs and retaking towards the site, now being overrun by the players of Epsilon. Walu doing damage from afar, but it's not enough to get you access towards that site yet.
Yeah, not yet, and they just hold it on to these very well. Only one man, David, actually going around the backside here. Jerk doing exactly what David did earlier on for that attack onto A. Let's see if actually goes up the ladder, or he's going to try to go for the head-on fight. No, actually, Sonos on Dignitas picks up the kill on David. I believe that was Jakuli here, so that should open up A, and that means that Epsilon, they got to make a push somewhere, and I'm assuming that's going to be C, led by Horik here.
Yeah, we're going to see what they decide for. They could go back for the counter, but I think you're correct. They are going to be making their way up towards that flag, and pretty much free for the taking. You saw the overcommittal almost. One player does stand on the roof. Nice play from Judeski there. He's always been that pest right above them, playing the safety role if he has to, but now he's going to be forced into predicament. Will he push? Will he retain for the respawns? Or is he going to hold this one out and leave Epsilon to flag this, cap this one over? He has. The nade's not doing the damage he needs. They're going to have to play for the retake rather than the challenge.
Right now, we see David push in, but doesn't matter. The rest of Epsilon do pick up those kills. We see A being contested at the same time. We will see a tri-cap come in here in favor of Epsilon. If they can hold these 65 tickets coming into that second half, that is going to be a very hard lead to pretty much outpace if you're Dignitas.
Yeah, especially when it's that mental choice of, this is our map, we should be the one with the lead. We're the ones now getting triple capped against us. This is awful. Just for their mentality as a team. You start, you start getting emotional about it. Okay, they're finished. They don't have that kind of emotional side. They're very kind of like stoic players at times. But, they still have that issue of, okay, this is getting a bit of a troublesome time. 10 tickets remaining, and Epsilon are up in the 60s. And this should go down to, maybe a 63 ticket lead or 64 around that marker. It's not going to drop much lower. And Dignitas, they've got to work this one out. Epsilon are looking strong. They worked out their game style, and they just nailed it down to the floor. This is hard to watch for any Dignitas fan at the moment.
It really is. I mean, 64 tickets on a map, or being down 64 tickets on a map that you chose, that is never the correct thing to really happen coming into that.
For sure.
But it's weird because, I mean, it's not like Dignitas are playing bad.
No.
It's just Epsilon's playing better.
And individually, let's look at the kills. One player sitting at a positive KDA, which was Jadeski, the player playing the roof so he can select his kills. He wasn't playing one-on-one exchanges. For Dignitas, for Epsilon, pretty much every single player sitting positive by some way. Duke 17-8, Jera 15-8, David 10-5. These guys were doing really well. Meg fairly quiet for a while, but he's been playing a little bit of a quieter role. It's where you're gifted to play. It's not always. If you're the best player, you are in the most aggressive place. Sometimes you've got to play for the smart choices. If you win a very important two-piece instead of getting a constant couple of kills here and there, that's more important to a team. If you hold on to that flag, it's all about the important kills. So that's where you put your best player in my eyes.
Especially on that map, it's kind of hard for Meg's playstyle to really thrive.
Yeah.
He can't really get flanks on people unless you want to go out into the open, which you see, I think 2 people did the entire time. Doesn't really put this style, but apparently the rest of Epsilon it works pretty well for.
Yeah, it's hard to, especially with the likes of Jadeski up on there. They were winning the exchanges on the cap point. That's what was important to my eyes. They didn't get the individual random pickups. There's not a lot of crossfires to be set up, excluding the sites. It's all very much condensed down to these buildings. So, I think his playstyle, as you mentioned, not ideal. But tough spawn now for that Chinese side. I hate being on the Chinese team here. It's like, well, we're just going to get spotted wherever we run. So, it's going to be a tough task. So, Dignitas, I believe, will be on that Chinese side. If we just press tab to reassure me for a second, that's always good. If they drop below 64 tickets, they are out of this. Simple as that. It's, I feel for them. This is their map. And look at the immediate pressure being put out by Epsilon. They're out for blood now.
They want kills. Like, I forget points. Let's let Horik go around and pick up some kills for himself. But he's actually not making anything happen just yet. But he does slow them down a little bit, which allows his 2-man squad of Mayak and Jared to push straight through to B, maybe push into A right after this, because they do or will get the cap on C momentarily. And how are Dignitas going to respond? Is Jaquili, he's pushing straight into B, looking for a kill or two. Does spot Jared right there, but doesn't go for the shot onto him. Maybe he actually wasn't spotted by the other team, but you see 3 men. You can see through those walls of Epsilon are working around towards the backside of B. They realize they have it. They don't need to actually contest it until 1 man does start to go for it. But there's the push. Meg does get taken down. See, actually Dignitas take a kill onto his own teammate right there, onto Jaquili. But B still very well in the hands of Epsilon.
Yeah, very much so. So 2-1 hold in favor to Epsilon. And they're just going to run that ticket bleed down. That's going to start really grinding down against Dignitas if they can lock them in here. And already Epsilon just picking up those kills time and time again. And Dignitas are just forced back to just that A site. And already we're seeing Horik doing the job he does best, just pushing him, being that pain in the arse. And they're going to get a triple cap out here. And there's no immediate reply. They could push in for B, but they know there's still present members there from Epsilon who are just converting onto this site. And this is really hard to watch.
Look how many people they sent for that, too. That was about 3 or 4 people just to take A back and to cap it back over for themselves and to kill Horik. Like that, it's a little bit of an overcommitment, but because of the way the spawns work on this map, you're kind of stuck doing that kind of thing. I mean, if you're the team that has a 2 cap, it's pretty easy to hold on to. If you have the 3 cap, it's pretty much easy to do as well, but wow, David just mowing them down as he worked through the staircase to get up there, and Judd going to be sitting, I believe that is over towards A. Actually going to look through the window when someone does go for the cap on it right now. But Epsilon, they're more than happy just to hold on to 2. And that's Horik. I'm going to say it's Horik before I even look. It is. And he's going to flank around 1 man.
And he's going to get the kill as well. Going to take down Jerk, who kind of does the same role in essence. And, he's still got the long-range weapon. In my eyes, I feel it's a little bit better with that angle grip. A lot of the other players will go for the stubby grip, for example. Whereas, you use the angled here, the first 2 shots generally just nail him to the ground. And that's what he's going to depend on. Use it at long range, but he still wins the one-on-ones. And he's still in favor.
Is he going to see Jadetsky up there on the windowsill up to his right? It's like straight ahead of him. And that's the spot that he is holding. That might give him actually some good respawns. Actually, to take the... How doesn't he hear? How does Judd not hear this? There it is. I was waiting for Jadetsky to hear that and go for the shot because it's making so much noise. Now he knows where he is, but that's a good spot by Jadetsky and great awareness to just try and get that kill.
And look, immediately pushes up to B. He knows that it's just going to be one player pushing that flag. It's going to be Horek. He tried to take the initiative there. Not bad play. Maybe wait for a couple of respawns. But still, it was worth the push, and it's given at least a little bit of an opening now for that B side possibly and C to be converted. It's opened up enough of Epsilon, so that's really good play. Dignitas will fall back. You know, they'll find their comfort zone here, but they need to convert B as well because soon enough A will be challenged out by Epsilon.
Yeah, it will, and it's definitely easily going to go into hands of Bag right there. But they do get a respawn with 2 men of Dignitas. Can they actually stop this trap? We have Master going towards the top side, trying to give him that that vision advantage and also the position advantage, but we'll be able to get the kill to Meg. Meg, I believe, actually just picked up one. He does spot him, does get the kill onto him, so that should be a going back in favor of Dignitas, but will Epsilon be able to hit C in time because they already have respawns coming in from the backside of it. They will, in fact, lock it down, and it's just every time Dignitas makes a push onto a site, they die.
And let's bear in mind, 64 tickets is the key number here. They are very close, and Dignitas are doing what they can, but it's coming down to a point where there's little to be done. And if they get a 2-1 hold against them, it's going to be a matter of time. Jaquili and Walu desperately trying to hold on here, bleeding something away from Epsilon, but it's not enough. Currently all even at 1-1 hold, 65 tickets.
Respawn,
the kills. This is everything it comes down to. They're being wiped out as we speak. There we go, one more ticket, and it's game over for these guys. There we have it. Dignitas, sadly, were not just enough to get through to the finals there. Well, it's going to be a great game. Epsilon up against UMAV. That is going to be something to watch. I can't wait for it.
Even with how well UMAV was playing, though, I don't know if they can play that damn good.
That
was ridiculous.
That was very well played. Even on Dignitas' map, they retained 136 tickets. That's massive. That's complete domination.
What Epsilon has that UMAV doesn't have is Hork. They don't have that guy that plays that role to really back cap on you. Instead they were pretty much playing like Fnatic was. They were having the anchor role. They had the 2-man squad to push in. You had one person to hold on to one side, maybe another to hold on to the other. But I wonder how much of an impact Hork can make, because we saw right there how much of a nuisance he was and how he was just kind of in their mind where they realized they had to leave one man back there to flag. They had to do that. They couldn't afford to go for a 5-man push on the 5 to take 2. They had to leave someone there. And Horek, his aim wasn't shoddy at all. He was pulling off some really good
good stuff. Even against the gun he was using, you know, he was running with that Scar H. Not ideal in those close range situations, but really making it count when he had to. But anyway, guys, we'll be back with the Grand Finals in just a moment. You do not want to go anywhere. And if you have enjoyed the content you're seeing so far, you want to know a little bit more about these teams, about the game mode we're playing, because it's not your core kind of Battlefield at times. Even we'll admit it. It's a little bit further away from that. We're going for the more condensed kind of esports style. And you want to learn about what you're watching, do head on over to battlefield-ems1.com and check out the article we put up there. Check out the VODs. Have a little look at the rankings, because this is going to really shake things up. So guys, we'll be back after a very quick break with the Grand Finals.
Peggy 18.越王勾践卧薪尝胆，最后灭了吴国。这么多年来，给他们造玩具、鞋子，甚至他们的国旗。一边忍受他们的傲慢，一边等待时机。现在，时机终于到了，让他们见识我们民族的伟大。瞧好吧。
Peggy 18.
For 2 years, we've listened to the tales of our fellow soldiers. But the war has changed, and with it, the stories. Stories of men being swallowed up whole in the flooded bowels of Metro. Or never emerging from the fiery hells of Operation Firestorm. We've listened to the legends of entire armies being decimated by a single strike along the Caspian border. Sandstorms so fierce in the Gulf of Oman, it's like you're fighting ghosts. For 2 years, we've heard these stories. Listen to the legends. They say this is a war that cannot be won. We'll put that theory to the test.